You're listening to Executive Leaders Radio. This is your host, Herb Cohen, with my co host, Jim Wilson Newmark, Mike Hooper Obermeyer, Russ Stark Weidenhammer, Ari Banerjee, Consumer 51, Jim Hempful, TGS Financial, and John Golnack, Solomon Edwards. We have a great lineup of guests for you on our show today. Mr. Russ Stark, could you please give us the rundown, please?
Sure thing, Herb. We have Tom Selementi, the CEO of Spread Bagelry. We have Chuck Sebastiani, managing partner of Mechanical X Advantage. We have Katie Bro, partner at MGA Partners, and Ed Baumstein, founder of Recipe Philly.
Let's get to our first guest, Tom Selementi, CEO of Spread Bagelry. What is Spread Bagelry, Tom?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Herb. Spread Bagelry is a premium bagel operator, 17 locations in the Northeast and Southeast with concentration around Philadelphia, Atlanta. We're wood-fired bagels. We're the home of the Standard, which is the best bacon, egg, and cheese in the business.
Gotcha. Where you from? How many brothers and sisters? Where are you in the pecking order?
Yeah, I live in Mendham, New Jersey now, but grew up not too far from there,
Mm-hmm.
Parsippany, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I had a younger brother, younger sister, so I'm the oldest of three. We grew up in a 800 square foot two-bedroom apartment. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Parents were, struggled to keep jobs, alcoholic drug addicts, and struggled through that for many years. And we were on food stamps, welfare, so it was a lot of fighting for ourselves.
Uh-huh. You mentioned that one of the things you wanted to do 8 to 14 years old was get out of the house. Why was that, and what were you doing?
Yeah, look, it just wasn't such a great scene at home all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what I realized is, when I was out of the house, I could be a little bit more myself, a little bit more comfortable, not
Mm-hmm.
worrying about things nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was always out. I played sports. I played three sports:
Gotcha.
baseball, football,
Jim, you
wrestling.
want to give me a hand?
You said you'd do anything to get out of the house, sports, getting to school early. What were you really searching for back then? Structure, safety, something else?
Yeah, it's hard to say what you're searching for when you're 8 years old, right? But I knew that being outside the house, I could be a little bit more in control of my own destiny.
Was there a place where you felt like this is where I belong?
Yeah, look, at 8 years old, you feel like you belong in school, you feel like you belong in sports. But really, when I started to be able to fend for myself a little bit and make money for myself, that's when I felt like I can control things a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm. Russ?
Yeah, Tom, I mean, that's a pretty unstable environment for a young kid. Was there an adult or a mentor who helped you out of that? And how did that shape who you are today?
Look, I had a lot of really good friends, and some of my friends were in the apartment complexes with me and in tough environments, and we kind of bonded like that. And I also had friends that came from great homes, and I saw how their families operated, and I said, wow, it doesn't have to be like the way I do that, and it is a little bit of a
Mm-hmm.
result of the decisions that adults make.
I bet
That
you have a pretty
realization.
tight management team nowadays because you understand you really can have friends and you can have relationships and depend on people. John, what are you thinking?
Yeah, Tom, did that lack of comfort and security at home, did that give you the courage or drive to go explore new things? How did that impact your fear as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, it's really good question. I don't really look at it like there's a fear of doing new things. I just always feel like my back is against the wall, and I've always felt that way. And when your back's against the wall, you're looking forward only, right? Because there is no behind you, right? So when you're looking forward only, it forces you to be creative. It forces you to work hard. It forces you to build great relationships and do any of the things you need to do to survive and be really successful.
Gotcha, Mr. Hempful.
You were working hard and on your own from an early age. How does that help you in the restaurant business with the people that you employ?
Yeah, great question. Look, restaurant business is all grit. It's all how you show. You got to show up, right? And it's how you show up every single day. And now as an executive, I'm able to look at the dishwasher in the eye and level with that person because I've done that job before. I worked really hard to get to where I got to. The cook, I busted my tail as a cook too. So when I'm asking them to do something, I have that credibility, and I'll even get on the tools myself sometimes too. So, look, this
Mm-hmm.
is a hard working business, and most are, right? Like I don't fool myself
Mm-hmm.
that it's just restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's out there working hard, and if you
Mm-hmm.
know that it's going to be hard,
Mm-hmm.
that's the first step, right? Now you
Ari?
go solve it.
Tom, in the green room, we talked about your background in wrestling and your uncles getting into wrestling. What did being on the mats teach you, or what did it do for your mindset?
Yeah, look, getting through a wrestling practice is a challenge. The practice alone, let alone getting out there on your own in a mano a mano, one-on-one, and having to get through that, win or lose. It creates, a sense of I can do this, right? If you lose, it's like, wow, that wasn't so bad. And I learned this, this, and this. And if you win, it gives you a sense of confidence. So there's both areas, right? All my sons wrestle now. I have three
Hmm.
younger sons, one
Hmm.
older doesn't wrestle, and
Hmm.
they all wrestle. That's just the lesson. It's not about win or lose.
Yeah.
Michael?
How did you parlay the disappointments, the difficulties of your youth into the CEO you are today?
Yeah, it's a good question. I wouldn't say there was disappointment, right? I don't really understand that because I think disappointment comes from a result of like having expectations. And when you grow up the way that I did, there was no expectations. The expectation is survival, and keep getting better. And if you have that mindset, eventually you get to that point where you're in a position of leadership and leading others, I didn't have
Hmm.
much disappointment in my career.
Hmm.
Every career is up and
Hmm.
down, right? There is no linear line.
Russ?
Tom, what was the major pivot point when you knew you could run a company?
Look, like I said, it's not linear, right? But there were certain times in my career when I said, these are the folks at the table making the decisions. Why not me? Right. And maybe I don't have the same degree that they have or had the same education level. But what I had was a lot of street smart, a lot of street smart. And like the person you're seeing today is the person I am at work. It's the person I am in the boardroom. And it served me very well, And I think that kind of different mindset that I bring to the table is something that gets very appreciated because it just comes across as passion, right?
Hmm.
Passion, hard work, those things are
Hmm.
going to help you get to the level you want to get to.
Mr. Wilson?
What have you learned from your four sons?
Look, being a parent humbles you like like nothing else, right? And having sons, you got to show up as a man, right? So and when I'm able to look at them at the table every day and say, Dad worked hard, worked with integrity, treated people right today, right? I need to be able to say that whether I'm saying that to them or not, right? Because now I'm parenting other young men. Um, what I've noticed is you have to treat people like everybody's different, right? You have four sons, they are different. So as a leader, I have to lead my team very differently, right? I have to show up for that person, not this is Tom's way that he likes to lead. You have to meet him where he is. I have to meet people where they are, right? And bring them up, right? So I'm more of a pull type of leader, pull the most out of folks rather than push down and say, you got to meet me here, if that really makes sense. And children help you do that because
Hmm.
if you try to parent all of your children the same way, you're gonna be disappointed in the results, and the kids are
Hmm.
gonna be disappointed in the
Do
type
you,
of parent that you are.
do you think being a dad now is giving you a chance to create something for them that you didn't have?
It, Obviously, that is there, right? And my wife also has even potentially humbler beginnings. Came here at 9 years old to live with family that she'd never met before from the Dominican Republic, didn't speak the language. So yeah, we parent and we live our lives under that thought process of yes, we'd like to give a lot more opportunity to our children, but we also like to keep them very humble and let them know where they came from, right?
Hmm.
Um, we were not children of CEOs, no.
Tom, you think you're ever going to retire?
No, absolutely not. My wife knows that too. Whether it's serving on boards or starting my own businesses, this is what drives me. I've found my niche. It is restaurants, hospitality, food and beverage, leading people. There's no reason for me to retire unless I slow down in my, mental capacity and they tell me, Tom, you're no longer
Hmm.
wanted around here. Maybe we just want your money or the name, that's fine, and
Hmm.
I'll be okay with that when the time comes, hopefully.
So you're pretty driven. You're really driven. It sounds like nothing's ever good enough. Your back's against the wall. What's the website address for this organization known as Spread Bagelry?
Yes, bedbakery.com. We're growing now. We're raising capital, and that's going very well. We're looking to be the premium national brand a bagel. I've run breakfast bands before.
Gotcha. We've been speaking with Tom Selementi, CEO of Spread Bagelry here on Executive Leaders Radio. Don't forget to visit our website, executiveleadersradio.com. To learn more about our executive leaders, it's executiveleadersradio.com. To learn more about our executive leaders, we'll be back in a moment right after this quick break. Don't go anywhere.